monkeys. Welcome to another episode of Monkeylandia here at Coaster Monkey Studios. Well, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. You're in episode 17, so you've got a lot of catching up to do. If you'd like, you can check the link up above that's going to pop right there. Bam! And that's going to get you back to the very beginning of Monkeylandia, where you get to see all of our episodes. If you do like what you're seeing here, that is, don't forget to click like and subscribe so you can see any future content that's on the way. And if this is not your first time joining us, well, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you here, let me tell you. All right, so what are we doing today? Well, today is going to be a little bit of a different format than you guys are used to. Why? Well, very simple. When my computer died, my first computer, that is, I lost quite a bit of footage. So this is the very last episode I had saved on my external terabyte hard drive before it all went to Poop Town. So here we are. We're going to walk through the first half of this build, so you guys can see this here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to a live portion where I'm going to walk you through the rest of this build as well as the rest of Monkeylandia and kind of get you updated to where we are. Like, what's the update? What's the haps cap, right? And kind of walk through what my thought processes are for the next areas and the direction we're going to be going. But for now, let's talk about this build. So what are we doing? We are building Jane's Carousel. So if you're not familiar with what Jane's Carousel is, it is a carousel that was originally built in Ohio by PTC, and that is Philadelphia Toboggan Company. And that carousel was then transported and refurbished and rebuilt and brought to, Brooklyn, New York. Dumbo, underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. This carousel exists. If you want to Google it, Jane's Carousel. It's actually kind of really cool what they've done. So what I've done, going along with the whole New York theme, what I wanted to do here is I wanted to kind of continue that vibe and that energy. And we do a close as I can make it. I personally can make it with my current skill set in Planet Coaster. The closest replication I could possibly do. And that's what we're doing here. So Jane's Carousel. So Jane's Carousel, I believe it was 1922. I may be wrong. There's a fun little placard I have in the front of it. And we'll walk you through when we do our live portion. You guys can see what that looks like. But what you're going to get is just the initial build of this structure here, which is the roof, the flooring, and the glass walls above. And then what we'll do is we'll go around and we'll look at what we've done with a little bit of landscaping. Again, this is going to be a realistic park. Now, for those of you that know me and know my postings, you know that I did a really ambitious project just behind our Cosmic Cow billboard there. And I actually just took it all down. I made it all go away. Why did I make it go away? Well, I feel like it didn't fit the aesthetic of the park. It went a completely different direction. It was too unrealistic for me. And I want to go back and I want to rethink what this is going to look like. I don't want to make decisions that are haphazard. And I feel like that was a haphazard decision. Granted, it looked freaking phenomenal. Totally patting myself on the back. But I'll be honest with you, it did not fit my vibe. I want this to be a realistic park. I want it to be something that, a park that Cedar Fair or Six Flags would take over. And, it was a beautiful park, and then it started to transition into a corporate sponsored park. I wanted to have that feeling and that vibe and that energy. With a little bit of elevation, right? I think of like Six Flags America or Six Flags New England when you walk into their first areas and you've got that very, colonial feeling town. Well, we've got a very New York feeling, build set that we've got in our Broadway, New York City inspired Main Street. And if you've not seen that video yet, I definitely suggest going on back to the beginning of our series here and catch up on everything that is Monkeylandia. But here we are building out our roof. So we did a rounded roof with a glass top, and this is how it looks in real life. It's a metallic, very, very shiny metal, but unfortunately we don't have that in the game. At least what I found so far. So what I've done is I've done the metal alloy, which I think works really well. And then with the glass that we've got put up around it, all the way around, it looks pretty cool. It's totally a glass dome. It's not air conditioned in real life. It's got big fans inside, and that's something I couldn't fit in here. As badly as I wanted to fit the fans, it was not going to work out, to be honest with you. And I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with that. But I think the lighting hits spot on. I think you've got that vintagey yellow with the carousel in the center, and then you've got this like industrialized LED bright white light around the border. And this is how it looks in real life, which is so cool. And then there's glass panels that wrap all the way around this particular structure, and there is giant folding glass doors in the front facade, which I think is stunning. But yeah, so we're just wrapping, and again, it's a pretty simple build. I think the most difficult part of it was getting the rounded structure to be, on par. Again, being a noob, total noob, in the game still. I think at this point now, when I built this was the day before my computer broke. So this would have been 13 days, 12 or 13 days of having the game that I built this structure. And, I was doing some blueprints today of my park of Monkeylandia, and my logistics of buildings are all over the place. I'll be honest with you, it's kind of scary. I feel bad for everybody who goes and downloads this park when I go into phase 1 and upload it to Steam. You guys are gonna be like, oh my god, this is such a mess. I mean, aesthetically it looks gorgeous, but logistically it's a nightmare. Sorry. I love that look from above too. Like, how great is that? That's just awesome sauce right there. And again, this is all what it looks like in real life. The circle, and this is what I found interesting. The circle itself, it's closer to the edges of the metal box this carousel is inside. So I should have made it wider, I feel like, and not just the circumference of the actual carousel. But I think it gives it a little something. Now, the real deal one has different colored plates here, triangular plates, and unfortunately I could not make that work with art shapes as much as I wanted to. And the other thing I couldn't get to do is to get my spines to line up across, and this is something I should have probably didn't in the very beginning, is made the spines first and then came back with the circle roof after the fact. This way all the spines would line up. But again, hindsight is better than foresight. I mean, it still looks great. I just think, from a OCD standpoint, it doesn't work. Oh, look at the amount of people in there. So I was playing around with the amount of people. I don't know if you can see it on the bottom of the screen. I was playing around with the amount of people at this point when I was playing the game. And I was like, oh, look, 10,000 people, 5,000 people. Oh, my God. I was loving every second of it. Having that many people in the park was cool. But nobody would ride my carousel. I found that interesting. And now, for some reason, they're riding it like it's the hottest thing since sliced bread. I don't know why. But I guess time changes all. We actually put in here, now this is great. So we did some metal fencing around to wrap around our queue here. What I decided to do is I came back, and the original Jane's Carousel has glass partitions for the queue, and I thought that was really cool. So I went back and I redid the glass partition, and I may go back in and do a completely round glass partition around our carousel itself, just to continue with the aesthetic. But again, this is something that I'll update in future. Not at the present moment, kids. I'm getting ready to go to travel. So what's going on the channel? We are traveling. We're going to Atlanta. We leave for Atlanta this Friday. We're there for a week. We're going to Six Flags Over Georgia, Dollywood, the Coca-Cola factory. We're going to check out Atlanta's Botanical Garden. It's going to be really cool to get out there. I have not traveled since March when I was in Vegas. If you want to check out that vlog, you can check that out on the channel as well. Really good stuff there. But yeah, we're getting close to the end of the speed build here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut over to a live section, and I'll do a full walkthrough with you guys of kind of what this looks like. And we'll do a full walkthrough of Monkeylandia, and up to date, where are we now? Walkthrough. So get stoked, get excited. This is going to be an exciting one for Coaster Monkey Studios. We're going to start building again now that I've cut, 17 videos? All right, cool. So we'll check you in our live feed in just a bit. Ciao. All right, and here we are back at Jane's Carousel in our live action center area, portion, whatever you want to call this. So we're going to do a little history on Jane's Carousel first, and we'll do a pan out so you can see the full finished picture. So Jane's Carousel is a classic 3-row machine with 48 exquisitely carved horses and 2 superb chariots. It was created in 1922. Ha! I was right. It was 1922. The heyday of the American Carousel by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, PTC. Designed as PTC number 61, it was originally installed in Eudora Park in Youngstown, Ohio, then a prosperous steel-making city. So a little bit of background for you. I love stuff like this. History, vintage-y stuff is awesome. And as we do our pan out now, let's see if we've got it in the right setting. And we're going to pan out. Ready? No. Okay, I screwed it up. Let's just pull back. And here we are, our final rendition of Jane's Carousel. So you saw some of this in our intro stuff here. So we're going to kind of walk through the rest of the structure. So what we've done is we've created this stone slab for our guests to walk on, right? And out here we've got benches for mom and dad to sit on while kitties are riding on the... Oh my god, that's a lot of garbage. Y'all are some dirty people. But thank you for keeping the park clean. So we've got some benches here for mom and dad to sit on that we've put out here. And here are the giant folding glass doors. I don't know if they would fit all the way down. I think I may need to put more on. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I put more or should I leave it just as a nod to the original? You guys tell me. I would love to hear your thought processes. Oh, I forgot to take the wood away. Got to make those go away in a little bit after the video. But yeah, so we've got that going on. And then out here we did, because Jane's Carousel has this type of deal on the floor, in the floor here. But unfortunately, I could not get this particular setup on the floor built into the floor there in metal, which I was trying to do. I tried a couple of iterations. It did not work. We've done that, and then we've roughened up our ground here a little bit. As you can see, it's not perfectly flat, which gives it more for that realism, right? And my favorite bushes, these are our tree bushes. These are the street ash tree. So for anybody who needs to know what this is the street ash tree. See, street ash tree. It's a great bush. Look at that. I mean, it's perfect. And then what we've done is, we'll zoom out here a little bit. We've done some custom curbing all the way around because they did not like the game curb. Plus we had some custom curbing here, so I figured we'd continue that. And then we've got our glass wall around here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and do the glass wall in the interior also. A nice rounded glass wall. I feel like it's necessary to keep with the consistency, plus the actual real one has it. So we're gonna come back and probably relook at that. But my favorite part of this whole thing is the nighttime. So here we're coming into nighttime. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, that's just, shut the front door. Fantastic. There are a lot of people, by the way. I had a ton of flat rides. I got rid of all my flat rides because I'm going a different direction in the park, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But yeah, so we've got that. See, again, we've got the vintagey yellow lighting here, and then we've got this bright white industrialized light, which I love, all the way across either side, and I think we did in the front and the back. So yeah, and I love, look at the reflection on the columns here. I love the way this looks. and you catch it from the right angles, I mean, you just see all the reflections. And reflections in this game, the lighting is just fantastic. I'm going to say this over and over again for the rest of my life. The lighting in this game is stunning. All right, so let's take it all the way back to the beginning. We're going to go up, 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 and away. We're going to fly on up. And we're going to go all the way back to the beginning and do a walkthrough and kind of collectively make a list of everything we want to do, or I want to do, to kind of clean up my first iteration of the park. So here we are back at Grand Monkey Terminal. This is all the way back in the very beginning. So super ornate, love this building. All the way across the board, designed around Grand Central Terminal. I want to do something here with this curved stairway here on either side. So probably do some, let's square this off in the end here, but do some custom windows as walls all the way around on that side there. And then coming inside, I want to build out the interior here. So this framing we've got going on here, I want to carry that through this interior. So we've got a nice arched structure all the way through this area. And lighting, obviously lighting, of course. So we're gonna come back and clean all that up. I want to put lighting here. Maybe we'll have some type of signage or history of this train, because this train would be quote unquote original to the park. This, I don't know what this is, but this might have to go out in a better way. I'm going to move this down here. We'll clean up these rough edges here on the inside, because again, interior is just as important as exterior for me now. I'm thinking, you know, next level, like what does the next iteration of this park look like, right? So now we've got the same thing on this side over here. And I'm trying to think, maybe I'll do, because there's no don't die fencing here. Like people can fall over and die. It's got some fencing across here. But I'm thinking maybe I'll just close this all off with some sort of a custom booth for our engineer. And that's what I'm gonna do for the interior of this space. That's really, you know, really what I want to do specifically for that interior. Now coming down here, I think overall this is good. Again, our faux storefront windows, and we've got our walkway coming in there, which is great. Now all this we still love. We've got our firehouse over here to the right. I think we're going to keep this as is. We're not going to edit that at all. And then we've got Les Chic, our restaurant here. So I think I'm going to change this out to an actual restaurant block. So when our guests walk in, they can walk right into the restaurant there. And then in here, we've got our employee door. We've got to put another one in the park too. So we'll do that somewhere around our hub, but we'll get to the hub in a bit. Coming into this back of house area here. So as you see, I put up this massive wall. There was going to be a giant Aztec area back here, but that's going out the window. Oh, I've got to fix this glitching. That's going to drive me nuts. So we'll fix the glitching there. And this wall is going to come down. We'll probably do some type of fencing, but I want this to be a massive back of house area here, all the way across the board. And then on this side, we've got fencing here, but there's no access here, right? Because we're going to have this as a back of house area that's entered from the park there. And it'll wrap around behind our this warehouse block here that we've got, and it'll come down this way all the way around to here, and we'll have access through somewhere back over here. So I'm thinking we'll have this closed off this way, and then we're going to put parking in this whole area over here. So we're going to have a massive parking lot. So the train is going to come out of the park a little bit because we're going to go around the parking lot on the outside, but that's okay because the train is technically not inside the park, right? This is just transportation. We might do multiple locations of parking that you take the train from one area to the next, which you have access to the park in all of these areas, right? So I'm thinking 4 main hubs, and then each hub's going to have a parking lot with exterior access from, I don't know, wherever in the world, Generica, USA, right? And then I'm thinking parking on this side. We'll do parking on this side over here. as our entryway, and then this will be fencing, and this is where the park will close off a bit over here. And then originally we were going to have, if I scroll out, you can see I kind of marked it. There were going to be different lands. We were going to make it like a Disney World, Disneyland. And that's what I started to do here, but then it didn't fit the park. It wasn't Monkeylandia. I feel like the direction I'm going for Monkeylandia is a bit more realistic than it is, over the top. I want it to be, mid-level budget park. I don't want it to be a Disney. I don't want it to be a Universal. After we get out of here, we're going to have, buildings and restaurants and food outlets and whatnot wrapping around with rides sprinkled in between, flat rides sprinkled in between, because this is our central hub, right? This is the center area. Now, with that train going all the way around, that train is the access that our guests have to each area of the park, right? So here, back there, and over there. I also want to put in a monorail system. So I'm thinking the monorail system will start here-ish, right? And we'll have it work through our different areas. I wish we could have a shuttle monorail where it only goes from one point to the next, back and forth. I'm going to check and see if that's an option. If it's not an option, we'll have it come out, wrap around, and come back around this way. Now, what I'm also thinking of doing, since we've got parking access over here and on the other side, maybe we'll have a wraparound road as well that goes into mountainsides. And those will have access to each of the parking areas here, there, and there. And those roads are going to have a fun little addition that you guys are going to enjoy. So somebody do it. I think it was a California-based pier park. But yeah, so that's where we are here. Again, love our whole Monkeylandia facade here. This to me is this is Monkeylandia. This is it, right? I've got to definitely work on the positioning of the lampposts. We're going to go back and editing those lampposts out. Now coming into our next building here, which is our entryway building, I want to reel these up a little bit more. So what I'm going to be doing here is putting in a roof system. We're going to have security that you've got to go through. There, I'm going to get a doorway here at each of the entryway points for our ticket area. That's going to be there, which will be great. And then there's going to be, welcome to Monkeylandia signs, because once you walk out of here, you're now transported into Broadway, New York. And that's the whole idea. I wanted to have this, this reveal moment once you've walked through those gates. And that's why I think I succeeded in doing a good job. Excuse me. Oh, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Good job with that. So now, coming into this area, all is fine and dandy here. I really dig all of this. I've got to just make sure all of my stuff is up to date. All of my images, because there were some opportunities with that from the transfer from the old computer to this computer. I've put in a restaurant here if you guys haven't seen this yet. So we've got an actual restaurant block in here now, which is cool. I got to put some barriers there as a reminder. And then I think, we've got to get the Mac cosmetic images up here, and we've got to get these menu signs in there as well. And I think this side's all done 100%, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, a really cool trick for those of you guys who didn't know, take a picture if you want to have it in a window and offset it by like a meter or two. And then as you move, it'll move with you. So it gives like a 3D effect. I forget the name. It's not Pepper's Ghost. There's an actual name for this. But you guys will get the idea. So that's all good. That's all good. Our chief beef is good. Information's good. Back over here. I want to change this out maybe. Instead of it being information, have it be something else. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. Next. All right. So as we've moved through, and again, just a reminder, we did all of this in a few episodes back. Right? So we've got all that. I love the tree work. It's open. This is a very open area here. So I want to build out street vendor carts, but like New York City street vendor, like the grimy, dirty water hot dog vendors. I want to put one right here. And I'm thinking maybe something else on the other side. I don't know. This area here I want to keep open. I want nothing here. Because again, I want that grand reveal when our guests are walking in. So I don't want that taken away. So as we move forward then, we walk down Broadway. So let's go to Tejidcam for this. I love this. Oh my god, this screaming cracks me up every time. Okay, and we're going to go into PM mode because, I mean, this park really just does liven itself up once we go into night mode. So here we are. We're in Tejidcam, and we're just going to take a look around really quickly. Look at the detailing of these. I mean, I just love it. Look at that. Wow. Oh, I've got to move lights over here. Look at this. Wait, watch. We're going to do this together. Ready? And we're going to unclick, and we're going to click, and we're going to edit. Because essentially this is all one building, so it's okay. We can. I'm allowing myself to do it. You don't like it, tough niggies. Merp. And we're just gonna fix that, just like that. Bang. Okay, so as we're walking through, these lights are still very yellow. I've got to change this out of this yellow. I don't know. I mean, in real life, they are yellow, but I don't like it for Monkeylandia. We've got to take a look at this now. So as we move forward here, we get to King Coaster Circle, right? So we've updated King Coaster Circle. We've cleaned it up really nice. We've made massive amounts of variation in our foliage here. And from a guest perspective, you can't see the actual fountain, which I didn't realize until after I made the fountain. So this is something I'm gonna have to be mindful of in the future when I'm building out, when I'm building this stuff out. You know, what does that guest perspective look like? I mean, it looks cool from here, right? But it looks so much cooler where you can actually see the fountain without all the foliage and stuff around it. So something we have to think about for our next venture. But as we walk around, I think this is all good. And again, I want to go back and I want to look at all the positioning of our lamps and make sure they're all angled the right way with the spokes coming out the side. I think we're all good here. Monkeylandia is doing great with Crazy Taxi Coaster. I've really refined all of that. Jane's Carousel we just looked at. Our bodega I've cleaned up as well, so that looks pretty solid for the most part. And then as we wrap around this way, right, so I've re-looked at this, I've cleaned all of this up. This had a little bit of funkiness to it. So I've cleaned that up. Look how you can see the windows. Isn't that cool? Looks like a shadow reflection from the lights outside. I love it. I've cleaned this up here. And this is all good too. We've got this sharpened up really, really nicely. Remember, we did our very recent episode here of our Crazy Taxi Station. Now, this is all open area, right? So we've got a lot of open area here. So we're gonna have to do food outlets or something back here to draw our guests back in this direction. We've got all this seating on this side and on the other side. So we've got to make sure we've got that all wrapped up really nicely. And then I think that's everything. So I'm gonna get out of Tejidcam here. And we're gonna zoom on up and we're gonna look from above and look at how clean that fountain looks now. We've minimized the amount of lights. We've gone with a more white or pale yellow versus that stark yellow, and then threw in a giant screen underneath with the bottom of a pool image, just again to give a really clean look, right? And that I think is everything that we've got up to date so far. here in Monkeylandia. We've cleaned all this up on the inside as well, so it's super sharp now, from lighting to placement of stuff. Again, it looks just cluttered enough. It's not overly done. We've cleaned up the, I think it's called the Cage of Fear. Correct me if I'm wrong, I may be wrong. But we've cleaned all that up around the coaster, so there's no clipping. And yeah, I think that's it. That's 100% everything for this episode. So thanks so much, guys, for joining. Gotten you some ideas of what direction we're going to be heading. I have no idea what's going to go out this way, but this is going to be our first area. Exactly what's going to be here, I don't know. We're mostly going to work on some infrastructure over here first. In our next few episodes, we'll build out the infrastructure here, as well as parking over on this side. Obviously, this walkway here is going to lead towards parking over there. We'll have like a nice little parking area there. But we'll sort that out as we go. But that's where we are as of now. Thanks so much for joining again, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to mention down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content of Monkeylandia here at Coaster Monkey Studios. Thanks so much for joining, guys. Catch you next time. Ciao.